welcome to Pegasisters Live!
On a new website!
What the?
Do you feel out of place?
What are you doing? What are we doing
How
here?
are you guys tonight? Or
Oops.
early morning, depending where you are. I can't read it because the page booted me out, but I'd really like to know.
Okay, let's see. I'm reading the chat box now. Whoop. Okay. Oh no, people are already saying there's already PSL stuff. Or chat technical stuff wrong.
Oh no, and I can't get to it to see.
Can you still hear it? Okay. But people are like, it's fine. Just reload it. Confarn it. Did you guys? Okay, wait. So did you guys see that really cool, awesome intro thing that we did? If not, we'll replay it because it was cool.
It was pretty cool, yeah.
You know what? Just for the sake of people might have just for the sake that people might have missed it, I'm gonna play it again. Yeah, you just have to reload the screen. I don't know why that is. Eventually I'm gonna look into why we had to reload it every time. Okay, I'm gonna play it one more time because it's so cool. Here you go. Okay, so we're going to be pulling on Brynna and Brian here in just a minute. Are you ready, Sandra?
I am so ready, and I wish I could see if the chatty box was ready, but I can't.
Don't worry, they're ready. They're ready.
You guys ready? I hope so.
Alright, we're gonna call them then. Let's do this. Hello?
Hello there.
Hi. Hi. How are you guys?
Hi, guys.
We're awesome. And you?
Doing good. Just streaming.
Welcome
Streaming from where? Where are you guys?
Our Pegasisters Live thing. I'm in California, and my name's Sandra.
Hey, Sandra.
And
she's my co-host, and I'm Emily. You guys met me at Cutie Mark Con last year.
Yeah, we saw you briefly when you were scooting out the door with Peter in San Francisco, too. Weren't you there as well?
Yeah, I was. Like, for a few minutes. I had to leave really early on Saturday so I could make it home for Easter. So I literally had a couple minutes like, okay, gotta go. Bye. Yeah, here, I can link you guys to where we're streaming. So, how are you guys doing tonight?
Awesome.
Good. Have you done anything interesting?
Well, not that interesting. I'm just about to do some recording for some auditions in my studio, so that's where we are right now, down in my studio in the headquarter control panel of Drummond Enterprises. So that's where I am. Brynna, she was sorting her painting and art supplies as I pulled her out of her room.
Doing some organizing.
That's cool.
Very nice.
So you
Organization's fun.
So you paint?
Yes. Yeah.
Do you like just painting, or do you just really like art, or?
Yeah, just art in general, but I have like bins of stickers and papers and then paint, so I'm trying to haul all of those and organize all of them, so it's a lot to go through.
That's awesome. Oh, that's really cool. Okay, so we've got like a list of questions for you. Are you ready for them?
Absolutely. We're completely unprepared, but we're as ready as we'll ever be.
Yeah. That's okay. We are too.
That's how to do it.
We're just like you. We're unprepared, but we're ready. It's okay.
Excellent.
All right, so we'll get started here. I'll get started. So Brynna, what got you interested in voice acting?
I think what got me interested is since my parents are so involved when I was younger, and when I got the chance, because we have the same agent, when I got the chance to get auditions, and I really started to enjoy it, and I really liked being able to play other characters and act as somebody else. I thought it was really fun. So being able to do that more often was a really cool job to be able to have.
Oh yeah, I could imagine. That'd be really cool, especially since your parents did it too.
Yeah.
Sandra,
very neat. Yeah, what was your first audition like? Like, what were you feeling when you went in there?
Well, my first audition probably didn't go as well as I would think, because I'm very shy, and probably my first one was, I wasn't quite as experienced, so I was probably not, had all the energy I could have had when doing my audition in front of, directors. Is probably a little intimidating for me when I was younger, but I think I'm a little more used to it now.
She was first on camera, though, because she did some stuff on camera when she was younger. She was only about 6 months old in a big Ford commercial where I was holding her and bathing her in the kitchen sink in a sort of a Ford commercial that showed families and people doing different things. So in non-voice related, she had no control over that audition. She had to be in a sink. So she was naked in her first on-camera experience. So you can just get that out there in the internet world. She won't like that, but
Oh no,
It's a great story.
that's
her
actually
first
really
role was
cool.
nude.
Oh my gosh. So, how old were you when you did your first audition?
For voice or on camera?
I guess for voice and then also on camera.
For voiceover, I think I was probably maybe around 10,
Yeah, probably 9 or 10.
9 or 10, I would say. And then on camera, well, the one where I was a baby, and then I think I did another commercial when I was maybe 3.
You did another one when you were a baby, and then another one when you were about
wow.
2 or 3.
Lots of baby commercials. That's really cool.
Yeah, the internet's gonna go find those now.
Oh no. Can we find those on YouTube?
Yeah, we'd have to know. I know we have access to a couple of them, but they might be. Unfortunately, the tough thing with commercials, even tons of commercials that I had done in the past or that some of the other kids have done, they're difficult to find because they don't usually list cast members. So you can't search by, they're difficult to search by name. I can't even search my name and find a commercial. I usually have to search a commercial title. And if you search like Ford commercial, it's like there's a million to go through. And it was like 15 years ago. So you're trying to look up really old things and you have to sort of know what it looked like to find it. That's what I've found in trying to find old work that I didn't pay much attention to because you're not listed in a cast list that can be pulled up on IMDb or something like that. So it's a little challenging to find that older stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely. You have to like remember everything about it. Like, okay, what did the background look like? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Like a commercial treasure hunt.
It is. It's a bit like that. But surprisingly, a lot of them are out there. I've hunted a little bit just to see if I remember doing something for something, and then I'll try and find it. But only because I saw it maybe initially when it was out for the first 6 months or a year, I would know what it looked like. So I could kind of scan through things, go, oh, it's that one. And I show up like halfway through it or something like that. And that way I'd be able to find it. But in most cases, they're actually pretty difficult to get a hold of.
Well, I hope some people took that challenge.
Challenge accepted.
So, Brynna, what got you into My Little Pony? Like, was it just a random audition, or are you a fan of the show? Anything like that?
I think it was more that a little more random because happened to get the opportunity, and my dad said, "Oh, well, there's this My Little Pony. They're looking for someone with a New Jersey kind of New Yorkie accent." And he's like, "Do you think you could do that?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. That sounds pretty difficult." So he looked at videos on the accent, and I tried to work from that, and I ended up getting the part. But it was super surprising because I don't think I'd ever done an audition before when I needed an accent. So it was a bit of a challenge.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that answers some of our questions about the accent. So it was a bit of a challenge at first. But eventually, did you start feeling comfortable after you got it down?
Yeah, I would say so. After looking at more videos and talking a bit more with it, I got a little more used to it. But at the start, when you're changing your voice, it's a little uncomfortable.
I'd imagine, yeah.
She probably seemed. I know you felt a little uncomfortable initially because until you actually get the script, which is sometimes you don't get the full script until sometimes only a couple days before you actually record, and then you see what your dialogue is. Then you have to go through actually what you'll be saying and work on the accent with the actual dialogue, because sometimes you might see something online that's a certain way and you kind of practice that, but when you see your dialogue, you're like, oh, how am I going to say that, or I got to make that sound right, and you have to kind of rehearse it with the dialogue. So she might have only had a couple of days notice to get that down, and then you're thrown in the room with all our buddies, all the stars of the show, and you're like, okay, get in there, and they've been doing tons of episodes, and you're the new person. So I know she seemed a little nervous on that first day when she went in there, but everyone was. You guys know them all; they're all so supportive, and they're such a great cast that it's really easy to get relaxed with them easily. So they're just it's a super cool bunch of people that we work with up here.
That's so nice that they were just so good with you. First time, like, oh, don't be nervous.
Yeah.
I understand. Oh gosh, I'd be nervous too. Like, don't look at me. I would like cover my face up and I'd start recording then. Like, okay, don't look. Okay, now we're done.
Put me in the corner. Just put this wall in front of me and my microphone over here.
Oh no. Oh gosh, I would imagine that. Like, I thought about that too. Like, I want to do voice acting sometime, and I'm like, how am I gonna do this? Like, I'm gonna be too shy. I'm gonna like cover my eyes. Like, okay, guys, don't look. Okay, I'm gonna do it now.
If I can't see you, you can't see me.
You can't hear me either.
Well, when you realize, especially in our industry, that everyone, from the other side of the glass, from producers and directors and engineers to the other actors, they want you to, once you're in the room, to be as successful as they are. They want it to go well for you. So you've got nothing but room filled with people that are rooting for you. Like previous to the audition, to getting the job, maybe when you're auditioning, other people don't really want you to do a good job because maybe they would like to get the part. So,
okay.
and there's nothing negative that happens in that scenario, but inside they're probably going, oh, I hope they don't do so well so that I can do really well. But once you're all in there and you all have the parts and you're working on the show, everyone is really positive, and they, when you have that whole positive vibe about even if you drop a line or you mess something up, they're like, no problem, let's do it again. It's and that's the great thing about voice too, is it's so easy to redo stuff. It's not as scary as on camera work can be with film, because with film, with the setups that are involved in film and the lighting and sound and everything that's involved, sometimes it can take 45 minutes or up to 2 hours just to get a scene set. And then you got to go in there and deliver your dialogue. And if you mess that up, it's like, we got to reset this scene. And that's that can be a little more nerve-wracking because that's an expensive process. But in voiceover, you mess the line up, just say it again. It's all digital. We'll just delete that one and keep the good one. Try it again. And within 2 or 3 minutes, you're moving on, and it's all good.
It's like, on the next line. Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really, I can imagine the difference. Oh my gosh. Nerve-wracking.
Yeah. Not in the studio, but on camera, much more so, especially if there's stuff like pyrotechnics and explosions and things like that going off in the back.
Oh, no.
So like, okay, we only have one of these cars to blow up, so you can't laugh in this scene. Like, have an accidental, giggle fest or something like that. Like, when Aiden was young, my oldest son, and was doing a couple of TV series and some bigger movies up here, I was always a little nervous about that as a parent, because he worked on one big one, which was a terrible movie, but fun for him to work on nonetheless, called X versus Sever. That was shot up here with Antonio Banderas and Lucy Liu and Ray Park and some of those guys, which was a horrendous film. But there was explosions and stuff going on in the background, and I'm like, oh man, I hope he doesn't like cry or get upset, get scared. Something weird happens because they just blew that car up, and I don't think they have another one to blow up in order to get the scene right. So it's much more nerve-wracking. In the studio, it's all laughs most of the time.
Oh, that's wonderful. Makes it a lot takes off the pressure,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about Babseed, the character? Do you like being her?
Since she's kind of was a bully and all, how did you feel portraying that?
I thought it was really fun because it was really interesting to play a character that had two sides to themselves. And I'm really shy, so it was really interesting to play a character that had a shy side, but then could also be super mean. So it was really funny to pull out that mean side and act really like a bully. Of course, that's not right, but it was funny in the studio.
Oh yeah, so what's your opinion on just, bullying, and what do you think others could do if they're getting bullied?
Well, I think bullying is one of those problems that's happening in a lot of places, and it's like a pretty big problem, I find.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that a lot of people just need to accept who other people are, because it's like a lot of judging of who people are and, what's wrong with them and all their flaws. But I think everyone just needs to accept who everyone is. And I thought that was really great with My Little Pony that they had an episode on bullying.
Mm-hmm.
So for all the viewers, just kind of sending a message like, this is wrong. And if you were bullied or are a bully, you should stop. Or, it's kind of just sending a message to all those people who are somehow involved. And I thought that was a really great way to share with the audience.
Yeah, you got to be a total role model as your character. That's awesome.
I was
Yeah.
really glad to be a part of that.
Yeah, I think it was a really nice twist that, at the end they're like, well, it's because she got bullied back in Manhattan. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that is like the saddest thing. Oh no. What am I gonna do?
Yeah, a bit of a twist.
Plot twist. Oh no. So Sandra, do you want to move on to
Could
the next one?
yeah, can we expect more of Babs in My Little Pony?
I hope so. I would love to come back.
I think a lot of people hope so.
Oh yes.
I'm glad to hear. I don't know anything about my character coming back. All I know is that I'd like to a lot. It'd be really fun.
Yeah, Babs is such a cool character. I want her back too.
Thank you.
Of course. Yeah, okay. Everyone, go bug them about writing another Babs Seed episode right now.
Yeah, we want
Do
it
it.
really, really bad.
So, are there any upcoming conventions you're going to be going to? Or that you know of?
We haven't scheduled more yet. We tend to get sort of invited and talked to about different things fairly regularly, but we've also realized that school's pretty big priority with outside of working on stuff and heading into our finishing up grade 11 and going into grade 12 next year. It's the graduating year up here. I don't know if it's the same where you guys are, but in the grad year,
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah, it's an important year to make sure you get all the ducks in a row and your classes handled that need to get handled and not be missing too many finals or tests or things like that.
Yeah.
So, but her schedule doesn't seem too bad for the courses and things she's taking next year. So we're totally open for it. We had a blast in Cincinnati. We had a great time in San Francisco, and we love the fans of this show too. I've been to a lot of different cons myself in the past, and all of them have their own pros and cons. Pardon the pun, but it's but the MLP fan base and the bronies and you guys, we've just met a ton of great people, and of course when I get to travel with some of my buddies from the cast, they're a super great group on that show anyhow. So it's nice just to visit any city with them if it can fit somehow within our schedule. So we're always open to going into any of these places, and just need to squeeze it in somehow. And it's fun to travel with. I've gone to a couple with my son. We went to a couple of anime ones, and it's been fun now to travel with Brynna and go to a couple conventions, because sometimes when you're home with the whole family, you don't sort of get individual time with one child to kind of go and do something exciting like that. So this is actually it's a pretty fun way to do that, to experience some different places in the world. And when it's not just the family trip to Disneyland or Disney World, where you're all together all the time. And now Ashlyn, the youngest one, she's bugging me. When do I get to go to a convention? And I said, well, when Barbie is as popular as My Little Pony, maybe that's when you'll get a chance to go, because she plays the youngest sister Chelsea in the Barbie movies, so she's done 3 or 4 of those. But I said, if there's Barbie conventions, maybe you'll get an invite. Right now, My Little Pony rules the world.
Totally, right? So it doesn't seem like voice acting really affects your schooling. Do you balance it well?
I would say I balance it quite well. So, like, my dad will tell me a few days in advance if there's a audition I need to prepare for, and then I'll say, okay, I'll plan out my day, and maybe if there's some homework I was going to do after school, I might change that to do it in one of my study blocks, and then after school I'll have more time to prep for the audition. So I think it works quite well. I don't think I never find that I'm very stressed with auditions conflicting with schoolwork. I think it tends to be pretty balanced.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. Good, definitely. School is very important. Keep them books.
Education.
Education. So, are there any upcoming shows that we can look forward to seeing you in?
Can I talk about that?
Yeah, I think that one's out there.
Just need to clarify.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm in a new series. I believe it's called The New Adventures of Peter Pan, and I play John.
She does lots of good boy voices, so she ends up being on lots of different things playing.
Babs was like my first girl cartoon.
Really?
She was very tomboyish, so
Yeah.
it kind of worked too.
Those are my roles.
That works so well. That's awesome. So it's what
Definitely
is?
looking forward to that.
Yeah. So it's
Not sure where or when it's airing, but they finished some of the work on that end of last year. But it all depends on distribution. Sometimes things get distributed internationally before they're nationally here. Like it'll get picked up and dubbed into another language, and then dubbed in English. So sometimes we don't know, but they worked on that series through last year, and it'll be interesting to see when it pops up somewhere.
Yeah, I'm gonna be looking for that. That's gonna be so cool. And I love Peter Pan.
Yay!
Recognize lots of voices on it, being that it was done here. I'm sure there'll be
Oh yeah.
recognizable voices from one of your favorite shows that will appear in different places on it.
Ooh.
We'll be playing Name That Voice when we watch
Yeah.
for sure.
Right. Okay, who's
You'll
that?
pick I'm sure you will.
Now, outside of voice acting, like, do you have any hobbies or activities you like to do? You mentioned art before.
Yeah, I definitely art. That's a big one for me. But I find that I have lots of little hobbies and tasks that I do. Art being one of them, and I also really like cooking and reading and doing bike rides and a whole bunch of stuff. But for some reason, I still manage to get bored. I don't know how that works, but just
Called being a teenager.
Yeah.
You need to find new things. I get it. So, are you a fan of cartoons? I mean, you voiced in some, so I'm not too sure. Like, do you watch cartoons yourself?
I do.
What cartoons?
I'm a cartoon fan for sure. And there's lots of different shows that I think would be so cool to be a part of. Like, it'd be awesome to be I'm sure everyone would want this, to be in a Disney film.
Oh, yeah.
Or that's just like everybody's dream.
I know, right?
She's when I brought her down here, her bed is covered with art supplies that she's sorting, and her laptop is sitting there playing Tangled. So yeah, no, she's a Pixar Disney junkie, as are most of the family members in this house.
Are you
Yeah.
serious? I might have a moment. I love Disney so much.
Oh, Emily is Disney queen, literally.
Yeah,
Like,
well, we're pretty
you
crazy
can
about
ask
it
for
here. There's
anything.
nothing we miss when it comes out.
Did you guys like Frozen?
Oh yeah.
We are
So
on it.
good.
I
Oh,
am
yeah.
getting a little tired of the music, just a little, because it is played pretty nonstop in this house for about 6 months. So it's time to get another one out there so I can listen to some new songs.
We need more music. Yeah, I understand that. Like, after a while, I'm like, okay, I think I've heard for the first time in forever, I've heard it one too many times. I'm going to move back and listen to some Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
Something a little more refreshing.
Punch in a little Aladdin.
Oh,
Whole
yes.
world out there, yeah.
So, do you guys go to Disneyland and Disney World a lot, or?
We quite a bit. It's a fun family trip. I think we've only been to Disney World once, and that was the Christmas. Not the previous one that just happened, but the one before that.
You went to
there.
the Christmas party?
Pardon me?
You went to the Christmas party?
No, we didn't get there until the 27th, because we did Christmas here in actually near Vancouver, not far from here where my parents are. And then we went straight from there to Orlando, so for 2 weeks. And we've been to, because it's so much closer in California, we've been to Disneyland probably 6 times, maybe even more, and we're going again this fall.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome!
We are.
Very
We'll be there
cool.
in October.
Yeah, we're going to be hitting up Disneyland in a couple months.
Yeah, I live
Cool.
near it, so I grew up with like Disneyland being like in my backyard.
Oh, wow. Is it different when it's in your backyard, that it's like, it's just there? Or is it still as cool?
It's exciting. It's cool every time. Like, you always can find a different hidden Mickey or something.
And they're always changing up some ride.
Oh, yeah.
Your favorite ride will be closed one time, and then you'll have to come again.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Disneyland ride?
Not Splash Mountain.
No!
Totally agree with you.
She's not a fast drop person. She hangs out with Winnie the Pooh on the Winnie the Pooh ride while we all do Splash Mountain as a family.
It's so funny because the Splash Mountain ride is right next to the little Winnie the Pooh section. So my family loves that ride, so they'll constantly wanting to be going on it.
We
Mhm.
twist
I'll
and
say-
twist her arm, and she never will do it.
And I'll say, no, you know what? I'll just be here. So I'll go on the little Winnie the Pooh ride by myself and look at the shop. And then they come out of the ride and they're like, ooh, let's go on the Winnie the Pooh ride. Let's look in the shop. I'm like, okay, I've seen this.
This is deja vu. What's happening?
That is so awesome. Yeah,
What's
I
your
used
favorite?
to be like big on the rides, and then as of recent, I've been kind of like that. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go ride the teacups while everyone else rides Big Thunder Mountain.
You're
Oh,
the
well,
Reverting
to
back
me,
to children.
yeah, I feel that way. Like when you're younger, I don't know. Like I felt like, okay, I can ride all these big rides, and now I'm just like, I just want to take it easy and go meet, Princess Jasmine over there. I'll be back. Have fun. They're like, okay, you're weird. Whatever.
What is your favorite? You never told, Emily.
My
Oh.
favorite, it's either Big Thunder Mountain or the Indiana Jones ride.
Oh, Pirates.
Oh, that's a good.
That's a great ride.
Yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean is pretty great too.
Oh, Pirates is really good too. Yeah, the Pirates in Disneyland, I think it's got like one extra drop, according to between Disneyland and Disney World. I think Disneyland has one extra drop. Sorry, I'm doing like random Disney facts.
There's like a tiny
Does.
drop in Pirates and then like a big drop. Like the one you think's gonna be the giant drop, and then you just go whoosh. And
That's
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It's really just getting you back to level.
Oh gosh, sorry, I like Disney. I'm gonna get in the mode. Okay, so anywho, if we wanna steer right back into just other questions, so you mentioned your little sister did Barbie?
Ashlyn, yes.
Okay, do any of your other siblings do anything?
Voice act?
Yeah, do they do any voice acting or acting?
Yes, everybody does. Aiden, Brynna actually is probably, with the things you've done, you've probably done the least amount of shows compared to Aiden, who's 18, and Ashlyn, who's 13 right now. Ashlyn, for a couple of the seasons of Martha Speaks, played a character Alice on the animated series Martha Speaks, which Tabitha plays Martha, and I'm on that one, which is a younger kids show. And Ashlyn, for the past at least I think 2 or 3 movies, has played young Chelsea. Whenever there's Barbie and her sisters movies, she's played the youngest sister, Chelsea. And also Aiden has done a number of animated things from some anime roles on different things to I think recently he was on Inuyasha as a character on that, and then we both play roles on The Little Prince, which is a very famous French book called Le Petit Prince, but in the English called The Little Prince, and he plays the prince, and I play his sidekick, who's a little fox. And that's we did a ton of those episodes, which are shown up here regularly on a TV station and internationally all over the place because it's a very big international property.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's maybe on PBS or somewhere in the U.S. I'm not sure, but that's called The Little Prince. And Aiden's did a lot of film and TV when he was younger and is just starting now to get back into that.
Very neat. Now, would either of you have any advice to for aspiring voice actors?
Advice for aspiring voice actors?
Yeah, like how to get into it, how to relax yourself, anything like that.
Yeah. Well, what I usually, because I've done a number of these things before, and I always think the acting part of voice acting is what comes first, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I've run into lots of people who do great voices and love being on the microphone and things like that. And I think doing any kind of acting firsthand is a great thing to learn to do, whether it's amateur theater or improv groups or it doesn't necessarily have to be theater school or acting school per se, but working with any groups where you can play off of other people, because that's an important part of doing animated work, is actually working off of other performers, and especially on great shows like My Little Pony, when we're worked together as a group on that show, you want to be able to feed off of the lines that were delivered to you, and that's where some of the acting work comes into play. And obviously playing around with voices and accents and copying things and making up your own voices with the advent of so much stuff that can be done online right now that wasn't that way when when I got out of theater school way back in the early 90s, that wasn't something that existed where you could so easily and so inexpensively have your own recording equipment and set up your own recording studio. That would have been something that back in the late 80s or early 90s, no actors had their own home studios, or very, very few. And maybe if you're a musician, you did. But now performers can put stuff like that together at a very low cost and work on playing around with their own voices a lot, go to improv classes and do so many things at a very limited cost and actually get quite well trained. And that's what gives you the confidence to be able to probably move to where you need to have to move to get the work. Because unfortunately, that's still a little bit of this scenario with actually working professionally in this industry, is you kind of have to be where the work is. Even though with the advent of the internet, you think, man, can't I just be in my own house and record it here and send it in?
I wish.
That would be great. And it might get to that point when equipment is inexpensive enough that you can have the same kind of quality microphones as the studios do. And some people do that where they will phone patch in, but you have to be phone patched from a pretty high quality home studio to be able to do it from home. But until that point, most recordings still happen together or in professional studios. And the biggest centers probably in North America are places like LA and Vancouver and New York and Toronto, and probably a lot of anime work done in Dallas. And those are some of the sort of main centers for where work happens. And it's would be difficult for any listeners that are, maybe if you're in the middle of a small town in Missouri and you're really talented and you're really great and you've done performing and maybe even theater school there, and you want to be a voice actor, it's probably you'll have to move from where you are and go to a center where that work happens.
That's good. Definitely good advice.
That is really good advice. I think it's the best we've heard, actually.
Yeah, I'd say so. Did you originally live somewhere else until you decided to do voice acting and then decided to move?
Well, we're not from too far away, or not all of us, but I mean, I should say myself. The kids in our family have always lived in the Vancouver area, but I'm from the interior of the province of British Columbia, a small town called Salmon Arm, and which is a beautiful little town on a lake up in the interior. It's just gorgeous property up there. But it's not a place where you could work as a professional performer. I didn't know I wanted to do voice. That wasn't something that was on my radar, but I did know after doing some acting in high school and some amateur theater right out of high school that I really loved performing. And I thought, and someone mentioned to me, there's this great theater school called Studio 58 in Vancouver, and you'll have to audition to get in. They only take 16 people out of the hundreds that audition, but you could always audition and maybe get in there. And I auditioned and I did get in. And that was where I met my wife, actually. She got into the same term that I started in.
Aww.
And we met there.
So
and we were there for 3 years of theater school and married after a couple of years out of theater school in our early 20s. And that's where these 3 chillins came from. And shortly after I was doing theater and some on-camera work, the voice industry was really starting to boom in Vancouver, and I started to hear about things and decided to dip my toe into that industry and landed some roles quite early on. And then I just probably from 2000 on, that's predominantly all I've been doing because my time commitment doesn't allow too much for theater or film anymore, and I just do voice now.
Right. So, Brynna, did you have any advice that you could give to aspiring voice actors?
I feel like it's not going to be quite as long and heartfelt as my dad. But
that's okay.
I don't know, just if you're passionate about what you want to do, just keep fighting for that goal and never give up. All I'm going to say.
It's really nice and simple. It should be on a t-shirt or a coffee mug.
So, we have a couple questions for you, Brian. Would that be all right if we ask you?
Absolutely. Go for it.
Okay. So what is the biggest difference for you when you attend a pony convention as opposed to an anime convention?
Well, there's a lot of crossover with some of the fan base. You're probably aware of that, but a very similar crossover. Like I certainly noticed that with the bigger crowd in San Francisco compared to the smaller group when we were in Cincinnati. so many people who would come to see me, and they knew the roles that I'd played on My Little Pony, but they were like, "Oh, you're Vegeta on Dragon Ball Z and Zex Marquise and Gun Wing," and they're listing all these shows, Black Lagoon and all the Vision of Escaflowne. They knew all these shows the anime stuff that I had done, and were chatting with me quite a lot about that stuff too. So that's where I know there's a lot of crossover. But I think the biggest thing I would say that I would notice is the people are always very friendly at both anime and pony or brony conventions, but anime has a lot more sort of subgroups that aren't as prevalent yet. They may be there, and there probably are some there in My Little Pony, but there's lots of subgroups in anime which are some are pretty dark groups, and some are a little pervy, I would probably say.
That's like the nicest way to say it.
But some are really for little kids, like Pokemon lovers and Digimon. So there's just a much bigger range in anime, because it's about hundreds of shows and hundreds of genres of those kind of shows, whereas a pony convention, it's about one show. So it really narrows down the type of personality a little bit that will come there. And because of the messaging in My Little Pony, it actually, the people at the pony conventions are all super friendly and helpful and always bending over backwards to be supportive and positive when they see you. It's hard to count on my hand, after meeting thousands of people, running into anybody grumpy at a pony or brony convention, which is a great reason that when I'm invited and can find the time in my schedule, that I would usually say yes to going to one.
Right. And I understand like the subgroups. They've got like Homestuck, they've got like Vocaloid, they've got a lot of stuff. So it's hard to find people that you can relate to.
Yeah, well, and I mean that's a good thing for that community, is that you might not be into certain things, but into other things, and some are just there for the dancing and the raves and the parties.
Oh yeah.
Some are just there for to meet VAs, and some are just there to meet artists, and some are just there to buy swag and take cool things home. And so it's such a huge group, because I know one of the first anime conventions I went to, maybe back in early 2000, I can't remember, was Otakon in Baltimore, and that was like the biggest convention that happens in Baltimore. It was like 30,000 people or something. It is so massive, and they have huge Japanese, K-pop bands, like just people that are just there to see those bands and have no clue that a voice actor is even walking around, which is kind of nice. You don't get mobbed until you get into the autograph signing area, and then sometimes I know I'd be there at some of those conventions with, whether it's the Dobsons or Scott McNeil or some of those great voice actors that do a ton of anime, and your wrist is about broken from signing autographs all day long. You could not leave the room, and people still want to meet you and talk to you about your shows. So pretty different groups, but still pretty interesting crowd. I love that they're so into what they love.
Definitely. So on MLP, what's your favorite character that you voice?
Wow, favorite character. Well, I play lots of bad guys in lots of the anime and tons of the animated shows I do. So I love doing. They seem to have really cool storylines, and I wish they would appear more. There's not that many bad guys, really bad guys in My Little Pony, but I love all the little parts that I've played, and Mr. Cake and Filthy Rich and all these different guys. But Aoi Zodal is pretty fun. Sort of a bad guy that hasn't made too many appearances, but I love his character design that he has, and the look they gave him, and he's a pretty fun one of mine to play. It'd be nice if he showed up a little bit more, but with Derek too. But he's part of a sort of a story that's has to be moved along and dipped into to make that happen. But I really enjoyed that. But anytime I get on the show, and I've been on it a number of times, it's and more to come. It's fun, just mainly because the cast is just a blast.
Yeah.
Are there any future projects that you can talk about, Brian?
Well, I always forget which NDAs I've signed and which ones I can talk about. I mean, it's probably if you go to IMDb, that probably has the stuff that I'm allowed to talk about. Whatever appears on there is what's out and available that I could talk about. But there's probably 7 or 8 shows I'm working on right now that I'm not sure the process of when I'm allowed to talk about them or not.
Oh yeah.
You can always Google it or IMDb it. I know recently I've done a number of gigs as Wolverine on some motion comic series, playing the voice of Wolverine on some Marvel work. That's been really fun to do. We did at least a half a dozen motion comic movies that went direct to DV that were really fun, and that I had a great time doing. But outside of that, there's lots of stuff. It's a pretty busy place up here in Vancouver.
That is
Yeah, you sound pretty busy.
Yeah, really.
That's awesome. Hearing your Wolverine. I'm a huge comic fan.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna go find it now and watch it.
You'll find it. Yeah, it's like motion comics and Wolverine Origins and Wolverine versus Sabretooth and Wolverine versus the Hulk. There's quite a few of them out there. Yeah.
You're beardy like Wolverine.
Yeah, I have kind of beardy on my face like Wolverine. Yeah.
Just getting into character, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So do you have any past characters that you voiced that you're really proud of? They can be pony or non-pony.
Yeah. Wow. It's I've been at it for a while, since before this other person in the room here with me was even born. So, I know I started voicing, I think one of my favorites for anime would be Vegeta in Dragon Ball Z, with the work we did with the Ocean Group up here on that show. So it's, and I started that in 1994.
Oh
Brynna
my
wasn't even born
gosh.
until 97. So none of you were probably even born either. So, but that work, and I haven't done it for a couple of years when we finished up some work on it, but I've been part of that franchise for a while. Not as much in the U.S. as seen, because we did part of that series up here, and then it moved to Dallas, and Funimation took it over with a different voice cast down there. But we continued doing the work here, so all of our Ocean dub was seen in Canada, and I think in United Kingdom and other English speaking areas outside of the U.S. So we're sort of one of the second dub, or the alternate dub that's out there that's actually really pretty fun. So Vegeta was a blast. Wolverine has been fantastically fun. We did a second a number of years ago with Maurice LaMarche. I played Dr. Claw in the Inspector Gadget series, which we did another version of Inspector Gadget, and I absolutely loved doing that because I grew up with watching the original version of Inspector Gadget with Don Adams playing Inspector Gadget, and being able to play Dr. Claw was something that was out of this world for me to be a part of. So those are a couple things that have been super fun.
Okay. So, speaking of Vegeta, did you know that the season finale of MLP had a Dragon Ball reference?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, a lot of people talk about it. It's in the fight scene with Twilight and T-Rex.
Oh yeah.
If you look at the scene, it's like everyone's like, is anyone else thinking about Dragon Ball Z right now? And everyone like freaked out. Like everyone knew it. So
knowing you took my over 9,000 line. No one stole my meme from me.
Don't worry, no one took it from you. It just looked really intense.
That is your meme forever.
Don't worry. I can send you like the fight scene, and it's really really neat. So.
Oh, that'd be awesome. They do great stuff. Those animators have some really cool ideas. There's great stuff coming too. So it's pretty fun.
So we have one last question for you, and then we're gonna actually wrap it up. So does it make you proud that your daughter is following in your footsteps?
And that the rest of your kids are as well?
Well, she's in the room, so I can't say all the terrible things I was going to say. Well,
just cover her ears.
Yes, with all my kids, we're not super sort of stage moms and dads where we're pushing anybody into any kind of an industry. We sort of run into a lot of that out there where people are grooming their children to be something. I think part of their reason to be involved in what we do is it's because it's it's already done a lot in the family, and it's an industry we're around.
Mhm.
But I know I'm very proud of all of them and the work they've done on all the many shows they've done. But if they choose to do it or not makes no matter to me, as long as they're happy in what they do choose to do, whether it's being an artist or a musician or an athlete or a surgeon. Ashlyn, not Brynna, but Ashlyn has said recently, I want to be a movie star, or if not, I can work as a surgeon. She's
Oh
watching.
my gosh.
They're watching a
That's
lot
my
of movies
backup
and
plan.
that, so she's pretty excited about being either a surgeon or a movie star. And I'm like, hey, that's a pretty diverse,
Yeah, really. Two different
Go for it.
extremes.
yeah, two different extremes. But I'm like, you know what? You just gotta want to do it and love to do it. And in any of these professions, you really have to. My thing is, if you're passionate about it and you're willing to sort of outwork some of the people that are sort of only kind of passionate about it, you'll do really well. And find one that has an industry that has good people in it too. That's what has drawn me to the voice side of things and this industry. There's really nice people involved. So when you can show up at work and you're not like, oh, got to deal with those guys again. If you have to do that every day, that's just going to be hard and make
Right.
life pretty miserable. So I just love being able to go to work and go, you know what? I'm going to be locked in a booth, which isn't very big, a bunch of microphones with a bunch of people that are really fun. So
Really
if I'm
fun,
going to laugh for most of my day, it's good.
Definitely, yeah. Yay! Well, thank you guys so much for coming on here. We really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much. You guys
Yes.
are really awesome guests.
Well, I'm so glad we had a chance to catch up. It's been a while of bouncing around since we first met you back in Cincinnati, well, geez, that was over a year ago
I
now.
think it was
so-
about a year ago.
Yeah, I know. We said we should get on. Yeah, no problem. We'll do that. So I'm not the techiest guy when it came to getting my Skype organized. My first couple of Skype calls were a nightmare and things were working properly. But I've done a few interviews now, and so has Brynna. We're kind of figuring things out. So we're open to some of these things happening down the road if we can fit them into our wild work and family and school schedule.
Definitely, yeah. People, they want to be interviewed. Do it.
Yeah.
The Skype is available now.
Yeah, it works.
That's good. Well, thank you again. We're really bad at saying goodbye. We're like really awkward.
Yeah, so this is our awkward farewell, and thank you just so much for coming to our little show
Thank
and
you.
being really amazing guests.
Yes, well, thank you so much, both of you. It's been awesome.
Thank you.
You
Bye-bye.
guys are wonderful. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, there we go. Well, that was Brynna Drummond and Brian Drummond. They're so wonderful.
And if you're not used to our setup, we don't normally interview at first.
Yeah.
So
We were doing
that was
it-
kind of
yeah.
just something we did. So we have some
Something we did.
news to talk about.
Yeah. We wanted to do that so we can because we like to interview people and we want to make sure that we can
It's
work
on
around.
Their
can work-
time.
What was that? Yeah, we want to work around everyone else's schedule, so we decided to get it started early, and hopefully you guys will stick around for everything else. Hope that's okay. So yeah, oh my gosh, that was really fun. What did you think of that, Sandra?
That was really good advice too.
Yeah, definitely. So
So
I guess
feeling
we
so
can...
nervous before the interview.
We're like,
Ah.
oh jeez, like
Okay,
okay.
deep breaths. We got this.
1 minute till show. Oh
If
okay.
only you could listen to Emily and I before the show starts.
God, it's really funny.
Okay, breathe. We can do it.
We got
we'll
this.
be fine once it starts. You got this.
Get in the zone.
Okay,
Anywho, yeah, we can do some news if you want. You guys want to stick around for some news? Let's do it.
well, if you don't, or if you do, well,
Alright,
Xbox, that's what we're talking about right now, has some new items for your avatars, as in clothing wise. So if you want your avatar and Xbox to look cool, there you go.
That's pretty cool.
Pony stuff.
Pony stuff. So I
Pony
got
stuff.
got the picture up here. It's of the figurines.
Oh yeah, the Funko vinyl figures. They were teasing us, showing us who they are. I bet you guys can tell though, right? I'd hope so.
Daring do and rarity.
I'm very excited.
Spoiler alert. No,
Rarity's hair.
that's gonna be
looks
coming
cool.
soon, which is really cool. Actually, my friend and I were just talking about those toys. I think yesterday when we were on a break. He's collecting like all of them, and so he has 2 more to get now. Sorry, Paul. You
They
are
never
still missing
stop.
out. Yeah, those are gonna be really cool. Anywho, let's see what the next one was. I think it was about the t-shirts. Or no, just kidding. I opened up the first one. It's actually about the book drive. Okay, so there's gonna be a book. So there's this book drive. In Equestria Daily, it was their whole setup, I believe. And what's going on is that everyone together, find some old or new or just books you don't really read. Donate
Or have
them.
read.
Or have read already. You've read it 10 times. You don't really need it. And donate them to maybe your public library or an elementary school or a public high school, anything like that. And if they accept your donation, then take a picture of it and submit it to Equestria Daily. And I think what they're gonna do is just they're gonna post them all together and everything. So it's really cool. Helping out people. People need to get them educations, learn how to read, unlike me. As you can tell with the way I speak. So yeah, you should definitely do that. I know Sandra said she's gonna do it, right?
Yeah.
Books! Sorry.
Books.
Books! I had to say it.
I have so many, because we just moved and now we have all of these books that we're just finding. We're like, oh, my sister's outgrown most of these. So, yeah, she's 5 and a lot of them are super children books.
Very simple,
They're just here.
The cow goes moo.
It does? Since when?
Since when? I don't know. Yeah, I just heard it actually in the news last week that's what the cow goes. Did you know that?
Wow.
I know, it's incredible.
Now you're making me rethink things a lot.
My life is so different right now. Anywho, the next thing I believe is the t-shirts, if they're not gonna be the t-shirts in this lineup. Yes, it's I can't remember the name of the site. What was the name of the site we had here?
Unimi?
Yes, Unimi. They have really cheap, wonderful designs. They're really, really freaking awesome, and we actually have a link we'll throw in the chatty box. But I think the cheapest, it's $11 for just the design, or not, for the t-shirts. They're really cool. So
Teamwork!
Go to this. Let's do this. So this is the link. A lot of the t-shirts are $11, really cheap for really, really good designs. So just spreading out the word, helping out our fellow bronies who want some more pony swag. So yeah, and this is the design we have up here. Is the most adorable picture of Derpy. It's so cute, and she's a muffin queen or a princess, whatever you want to go with. And
Emily will go with queen.
I'll go with the queen. Okay, up next, the voice of Sweetie Belle, Claire Corlett, and her father, Ian Corlett, are now going to be at BronyCon. What? So, yeah, they're going to be both at BronyCon, so you can meet both of them. It's actually just, the same as Brynna and Brian. They're both into the voice acting together. It's really, really wonderful.
That's really something that's awesome. I didn't know that about her family. They're all little actors. It's cute.
It is. It's really adorable. And they're going to both be at BronyCon now, so you guys should go. I wish I could go. I don't think we're going. I don't know.
It was magic. You did nothing.
Nope.
Oh, what was that?
I keep pulling up a picture of Babseed on accident. Oops. No, I got this. There's one more picture. Where'd it go? Oh my god, it was my favorite picture in the entire freaking stream, and it's not there anymore.
It's because we're really, really lucky and good at streaming stuff.
It's okay.
Huzzah.
Confarnit. Well, there is actually a rumor that Sunset Shimmer will not only be in Equestria Girls 2, but she might be singing. Which
I actually, thanks to you guys, watched Equestria Girls.
Yeah, she finally watched it.
Yeah, enough of you told me to watch it. I did, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was good.
It is such a good movie. And now you can watch the second one. Yeah, I guess
I'm ready now.
We'll say, first it's a rumor right now. We're not saying canon. We're not throwing a canon stamp on it right now. It's a rumor because the Latin Sunset Shimmer tweeted about it. So, okay, I'm sorry. It's just a rumor. I'm not saying it's real.
Pieces together.
Simmer down. I know it's a rumor.
We want to be like Sherlock Holmes. That's what Emily is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll be your Watson.
Oh, you'll be
Watson?
What? We're so thrown off. Oh, God. Okay.
I'll be Watson so I can look at Benedict Cumberbatch being you all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and by the way, Equestria Girls is not canon. It's just a separate thing. I think we've already talked about this. But yeah, it's just a rumor right now. But, it seemed I'm pretty cool that the Latin sunset shimmer said that, so just speculation though. So you want to talk about cons?
Yeah, I think that's the last thing we really have to talk about today.
It is.
Tonight.
Good
It's
golly
night.
gosh.
Oh, wow, it's weird
It is
looking outside and
night-night,
it being
nighttime.
dark.
It's okay.
It's only 8 o'clock here.
Are you serious? It's 11
yeah.
for me. That's okay.
Time zones. We're all time lords.
Okay, so anywho, cons. Do you want to go into Sandra?
Consons, yeah. There's the Big Apple Pony Con, which is happening June 6th to the 7th. And, I mean, you can Google those for places and such. We have a list, a short little list. I'll just read them off. MLP MSP from the 6th to the 8th of June. And ChalkCon, which is June 20th to the 22nd.
Mm-hmm.
And then Everfree Northwest from July 4th to July 6th. And we might have something to say about that. Right, Emily?
I think so. Well, for TrockCon, no. Well, I'm going to be at TrockCon. I think you guys already know that. Tay, I believe, is still going to be at TrockCon, and we'll be doing our PSL panel there. And Sandra, do you want to say it? Or do you want me to say it?
You do it.
We've already kind of poked at it a little bit on Twitter, but Sandra and I'd say 99% sure, nearly 100% sure, we'll be at Everfree Northwest.
Yeah, that'll be your first con again since Vegas.
Good lord, that's terrible. It's been like over a year. That's sad. Oh my god.
So if you're going to that, find us and I'll bring my hand sanitizer and I will hand hug you.
And yes, I meant to put the picture of Babs on there. Yeah, we're gonna be at oh god, hand sanitizer. Didn't you do that last time? I can't remember. I know we at least talked about it.
I did for a while, then I got over it and just showered.
That's awesome. So yeah, if you guys want to meet us, we're gonna be at Everfree Northwest. It's gonna be really fun. I don't know if we're gonna do anything special just yet. We're still talking about setting it all up and everything. We're gonna be hitting that up. Go to Disneyland after that. It's gonna be really fun. We might have to work on some cosplays.
Yeah, we definitely will. Your advice and input is well wanted on the Pegasisters Live website, which is really just Twitter. So yeah.
Leave a comment
So,
on the site
Twitter us.
or on Twitter. Tell us what kind of duo cosplay you want to see us do. If it's not too extremely difficult.
There's been a lot of Shigo and Kim Possible.
Oh my god, I like to do that.
That sounds like a pretty good idea.
I'm still struggling to find the cargo pants for Kim Possible. That's like the one thing I'm still struggling to find. Like, I want to find it in the right color. I want it to fit just right. But someone said the Biscuit Twins. You probably don't know what that is, but it's from Little's Pet Shop. I don't know.
Sorry.
We couldn't do the Biscuit Twins because we don't really look that much alike.
We're not twins.
We're not twins. Do a Biscuit Twins cosplay. Katara, and I almost said Katarina. My mind is on League. Katara and Toph.
Always.
Well, I don't know. If I was gonna do an Avatar one, I'd want to do Chun-Li. Is that her name? I think Chun-Li. The girl.
That one in her pants.
The one who's like really flexible. The cutie. The one who's a flirt. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No idea.
The one from Avatar. Cat and Lil is great. I agree. What? Okay. Like, tweet us your ideas. That'll be really cool.
Because we're just gonna keep reading the chatty box, and we're never gonna end this.
Okay, it was Ty Lee. That's what I meant to say. Ty Lee. I knew it was something Lee. Okay, I'm sorry.
Rub it in her face because she was wrong.
I was so wrong. I haven't watched Avatar in a while either, so my bad. Okay, so I was watching Wonder Over Yonder the other night. I'm like, okay, I haven't seen it yet, so I'm gonna give it a shot. And it's actually really good. It's by created by Craig McCracken. Craig McCracken. Do you know who that is?
Fun name.
That's Lauren Faust's husband and the guy who made Powerpuff Girls.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he made Wander Over Yonder, which is why I gave it a shot. So I'm like, okay, I better give it a shot. It looks really good, so I'm gonna watch it, and it was pretty good. Like, I'm trying to think. I don't know. I don't know if I have anything to say about it yet, because I've only seen like 2 episodes. The 3rd episode that was on, I sort of muted it because I was going to bed. So I'm like, yeah, whatever. So, I mean, it's pretty good. Like, not too bad. Especially, Craig McCracken. So cool. I like his name. McCracken. The Kraken!
That is an awesome name. So let's have an awkward goodbye to the chatty box that we've been staring at and chatting with.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah,
So,
well, we want to say one thing too. Thank you guys for sticking with us. We made a really big move a couple weeks ago, and we really, really do appreciate you guys sticking with us.
and Tay is not gone, by the way. She's just gone for a few shows.
Yeah, she'll be back soon. But thank you guys for sticking with us. It really means a lot to us that you guys still are hanging around the chatty box. We love you guys so much. Never leave. Oh, love
Okay,
us.
well, thank
Oh,
you
yeah.
again.
I want to
What?
say one more thing. I'm sorry.
We can't stop.
I has to say it. If you guys haven't heard, I went to Midwest Bernie Fest a couple weeks ago. Like, I guess it was like a week ago. And it was really great. So you guys should consider going back next year or going next year because the staff was super duper nice. The convention was really cool, and I love the vendor hall. They had the game room right there. I had the most ultimate Super Smash Brothers game of my entire life. I defeated people who were really good, and I told everyone there, I'm like, watch this, guys. I'm gonna get in third place just to let you know because I don't really play Brawl that much. So I warned everyone I'm not gonna be doing that great. And then I got on there and I won. And I threw down the controller like, what? No!
Threw it
Yes!
on the ground.
I threw it on the ground. I really did. I was like, yes! You know, and everyone's like high-fiving me, and I'm like, that's right, the champion! Like, oh god, it was really funny. But anyways,
Were you
sorry.
just high-fiving yourself?
I was high-fiving myself. Like, yeah! Give myself a hand. I played Fox, by the way. They're asking me I played Fox. No, I didn't break it. I threw it down lightly. I tried to be gracious. I'm like, oh, yeah. But anyways, yeah, Midwest Bernie Fest, really good. You guys should go next year. I hope I can go next year. If they want me back, I'd love to go back again. So, yeah, anything else, Sandra? I just wanted to squeeze that in there.
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
Just see you next week.
We'll see you guys next week. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thanks for sticking around with us. We love you.
Next week we'll have a slightly different format. We usually just talk about a lot of stuff. And this week we had an interview that was before everything else, which kind of threw us for a loop.
That's
But
okay. It was so much fun.
we managed.
We did.
So, once again, thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you guys
and we'll
so
see
much.
you next week.
We love you so much. Bye, guys.
Bye!